Last week I went to watch James Cameron's Avatar 2, The Way of the Water. Sensational movie, probably the greatest cinematography I've ever seen. Of course, I watched it on the IMAX as well, which helps a lot. Shout out to James Cameron. Shout out to Zoe Saldana or Saldana. Shout out to Sam Worthington, Kate Winslet as well, and everyone else who was involved in the making of that absolutely sensational movie. I made a mini review, sort of, without any spoilers. I can drop the link at the bottom. And in that review, I spoke about the heavy fatherhood themes in that movie and how it also got me thinking about my own dad and it got me thinking about polygamy. A lady who's an avid viewer of my videos decided to send me a message and share her story inspired by that video that I released, which was inspired by the Avatar movie. I'm going to read this for you. I did edit her text, her story at least. I did edit it somewhat just so that I preserve her name, I preserve her story, and if anyone may know herself and the people involved in the story, at least they won't be able to link it. So what follows is me reading the piece that she sent to me. She sent it to me yesterday morning. Yesterday being I'm recording this on the 25th of December. Merry Christmas to all the real Christians. To all the fake Christians, please just leave Christianity or change your lives. To everyone else who's not a Christian, I hope you guys, I'm not going to release this on the 25th of December, but I hope you guys had an amazing day, enjoyed time with your family and loved ones, had good food. You know, we live in South Africa, we live in Africa. The concept of a white Father Christmas Santa Claus with a white beard, a big belly, and this red suit with snow. It's not African, it's not South African. You guys need to find your own beliefs. And it's not even a Christian thing. For Christians, it's the birth of baby Jesus. So yeah, let me read this. Hi, Penwell. I was touched by your Avatar review video where you spoke about polygamy, and I wanted to share my story with you. My husband and I have been together for over 10 years, married traditionally for over 5 years. We met just after graduation when I started working. We worked for the same company. Last year, we went through what I believe must have been the greatest turmoil in our relationship. He told me last year that he had been seeing another woman for a year and that they are expecting a baby. The baby was born this year in 2022. I was so devastated I cried for 3 days straight. I was just so confused as to what was happening. I felt like my entire world was spinning. I was in the middle of a tornado and everything I knew was being tossed out. I had lost all sense of balance. I asked my husband, why? Is this his way of ending our relationship? Because we were so happy, and for me this seemed to come out of the blue. His response at the time was that he is sorry. He was going through pain. He acted this way out of the pain. He does not want to lose me, etc. Let me take it back. Both of us were born in the mid-1980s. He was born 9 months before me, but we were born in the same year. When we met in the 2000s, we were both fresh out of varsity. My husband had a diploma, I had a degree. We went to different institutions, but studied something similar. We worked at the same company. Diploma graduates needed to get a certain qualification on top of their diploma in order to move from being a trainee to being qualified to move into management. This move came with a salary increase, and there was no way to get this without the additional qualification. With my degree, on the other hand, I did not have to get this additional qualification. We just had to finish our training program, and based on one's performance, could be promoted to junior management and then middle management. The first real struggle I witnessed my husband go through was trying to obtain this additional qualification. He did not want us to get married before he gets this qualification. I was sure of who he was, and I knew that everything he wanted, he would get along the way. So my thinking was, let's move in together, let's get married, and we will do the rest together. But on his side, he kind of wanted to prove to himself that he was the man that he thought he was before getting married to me. He failed the qualification exam so many times. Something that was meant to take him 1 year to do took him 5 years. He started drinking heavily. It's safe to say he got depressed. This time, my career was looking up. I was earning way more than him, and I was already in middle management. This was the first time he cheated on me, and had a one-night stand. He came back, apologized profusely. That incident shook me a bit, but I sympathized with his pain. During this time, I also had fallen pregnant twice, in the late 2000s and in the mid 2010s. I wanted to have children. I was thinking about my biological clock. But in hindsight, my husband says he was not ready and felt like I pushed those situations, the pregnancies, onto him. Both times he begged me to abort, but I told him I'm not going to make permanent decisions based on temporary problems. The additional qualification was a temporary problem in my eyes. The pregnancies also meant families got involved. The first one, they had to come and pay damages. The second pregnancy, his family pressured him to finish paying amalobolo. And fortunately, the second pregnancy arrived when he obtained his qualification, so he kind of had no excuses anymore. So just before the second baby was born, we moved in together after he paid amalobolo. Our second child is born. We build this home. Things are looking up. His pay goes up. We are comfortable. I'm a Zulu girl, so our getting married process is a bit lengthy. He paid ilobolo, izibizo, and umembezo. My family requested umtato, an actual wedding, and umabo, the gifting of his family, which is still outstanding. This he refused to do since we moved in together. He says he got bullied into doing it, into doing all the other things, paying damages, etc. And he is now standing firm on his ground. He's not going to do these things just to make people happy. This is where things get tricky. His mom tries all manner of ways to get him to comply, but in the process, she gets really sick. At some point, she was in and out of hospital. Doctors were not able to really isolate her issues, and they ended up doing a serious surgery on her. What he tells me now is that she told him that she is now going to die because of him. She is now sick because of him, because he doesn't want to comply with all marriage processes. A brief background about his mom. His mom is a highly respected community leader. My husband is a firstborn child with other siblings. Somehow his mom thinks her firstborn son must do all things perfectly to set an example for the other children to follow. This, according to my husband, is what triggered his cheating. He says he was tired of doing what people told him. He wanted his freedom, his independence, a way to get back at his mom and at me, I guess. He started having a relationship with this other woman. She was aware that he's married, and they both decided to have a child together. This is the child he was ready for and had planned. I'm mentioning this because after our second child, I got contraceptives because my husband told me he was not ready for another child. I took this decision because he accused me of forcing the children onto him. In the past few years, I've been asking for another child, but his response to me had been, he's not ready for another child. He loves his children, by the way. He's a very good father. She sent me laughing emojis. My life is a movie. But watching your videos helped me understand a little bit about masculinity and its toxicity. I'm convinced that my husband loves me. That I know for sure. But his behavior was what I found problematic. I realized that me and his mom perhaps were trying to control him using our feminine power, and we can be toxic as well. So now I've engaged his dad and told him about the whole baby mama situation. The dad decided at the time to talk to my husband, but not to tell his mom about it, for the fear of her health deteriorating. After some time, my husband came to a realization that he actually wants to have more than one woman. That is a desire he did not know he had, but this situation highlighted that for him. Because of watching your videos, I realized that this is a masculine trait and that Christianity tried to feminize men by restricting this desire to just one woman. I came to a realization that I have no desires to feminize my husband. I want him to grow, evolve, and become the best version of himself. I need to stop there for a moment, just to go back. My first issue is this. My first issue. I can never support a man that has excuses for why he cheats. Never. Your woman has not been sleeping with you. She always has headaches. Maybe she's pregnant. Maybe she's never around. Maybe she's far away, long distance relationship. So the man's like, these are the reasons I cheated. No man, in my opinion, should ever have an excuse for cheating. A man cheats because he wants to cheat. The whole reasons for she was not around, we weren't having sex, sure, those are reasons. But a man should never say that to a woman, and he should never say that to himself. You cheated because you wanted to. You could have masturbated. You could have had self-discipline. Just not have sex and wait. So you chose to sleep with someone else. Don't ever have an excuse, in my opinion, for that. Of course, because we have been feminized as men, you might use the same excuses as women make. Women make these excuses. But you haven't been sleeping with me. No, you haven't been sleeping at home. Women use those excuses. They're stupid excuses, but women use them. Of course, men shouldn't. What is a feminized man? Feminized man is a man that is, by and large, been raised to almost mimic a woman. A lot of us that were raised by single mothers that have been watching About Destiny's Child and all these feminist you go girl movements have become feminized. And even in the way we want to parent, in the way we are in relationships, we want to mimic what women, female society, TV has taught us to act like, which is not a masculine way, it's a feminine way. So we have been feminized. I'm very grateful to this lady for highlighting that some of my videos raise these things. She raises something else. Because of watching your videos, I realized that this is a masculine trait and that Christianity tried to feminize men by restricting this desire to just one woman. So I do not think having more than one woman is wrong. I do not think that having more than one woman is masculine. And maybe if my videos have come across in that way, I would like to apologize to this lady and to other people. I, by and large, endorse and advise men in particular to try and be with one woman, to be monogamous. And only when you're really struggling to be monogamous, speak to your woman and try and figure out what is your issue. A lot of men are not polygamists by nature. A lot of men just want to sleep around. They want to get the license to be able to sleep with other people. Oh, it is not natural to be monogamous. No. The idea of polygamy is a responsibility for more than one woman. What that means is your relationship, your stressful partner, your children, the money it costs, the headaches, all of that, you must be able to replicate it into another relationship and another family. If you can carry that weight, you can maybe be a polygamist. But if you want to have one family and that responsibility, and then occasionally go and sleep somewhere else, that doesn't mean you're designed for polygamy. It just means you want to go and sleep somewhere else. You want to have your bread buttered on both sides. I'm not a big fan of that. I understand it happens. I'm not a big fan of that. I tell a lot of guys, look, if you want to sleep around, try and maybe have one side chick, but understand she's a side chick and not another woman fully. And understand there are consequences. She will want children. She will want to be a main chick or a second wife, etc. Understand, and it's going to stress you out. And most men are struggling with their one woman. And they think they can handle more than one. No, Baba. Let me carry on. Sorry, the part about Christianity trying to feminize men. I don't know about Christianity feminizing men. I cannot really support and endorse that. Big boss King Solomon had a lot of wives, a lot of women and concubines. I'm a side chick. So I don't know about Christianity and feminizing women. So I'm going to sit that one out. Let me reread it and carry on. I came to a realization that I have no desires to feminize my husband. I want him to grow, evolve, and become the best version of himself. I had to isolate what I want out of my relationship. My desire has always been to have a partner in this life with whom I can grow with. We can evolve and achieve so many things in this world, especially in business. I realize that I have all of that with my husband, and that him wanting to have another partner is his evolution. It does not take anything away from me. This is a very mature woman, by the way. In fact, it adds to me. I will tell you how. I realized having another feminine energy in his life, as in another partner, boosts his ego, his masculine energy, his overall confidence. The result of that confidence is when he goes out there, he's more influential, he's a better leader, and makes more money. Somehow, when his masculine energy is so high, I find him more attractive. He draws more feminine energy out of me. I also become more confident. I make more money. I found these words so interesting, by the way. Things I hadn't thought of that she was sharing. That is when I understood why kings have multiple wives. The feminine energy is powerful. It makes men become more influential. Why would I want to restrict it? I told my husband that he can't cheat life. What you sow is what you reap in life. He must take care of this woman and the child. He can't go sleeping around because that is a lack of self-discipline. And it has its consequences. I believe he understands this. At this point, he is living this polygyny in the closet. Polygyny is when a man has more than one married partner. Polyandry is when a woman has more than one husband. Polygamy is the overarching term for polygyny and polyandry. At this point, he's living this polygyny in the closet. He's still gathering strength to tell his mother about the situation. Then he will come out publicly. You have made me understand my husband a lot better. We are in a much better situation with the other woman in our life. I'm trying to build a relationship with her because I wanted to succeed in life as well. Her femininity cannot be used to build us up and she gets nothing in return. She has to flourish too. I think I've said a lot for now. I just wanted to tell you it's possible to build solid relationships in polyamory. Polyamory is manjola and you have more than one relationship partner. I just wanted to tell you it's possible to build solid relationships in polyamory, and that if my husband had probably spoken to me and made me understand, I would have agreed to polyamory without him going behind my back. That's the end. So interesting. And thank you. I know she's going to watch this video. Thank you so much, Siswami, for sharing your story. I know there's a whole lot of other women that share it. And the reason I decided to share the story is because of how dynamic it is in so many different layers. People that have been together for so long, people that are traditionally married, a man who speaks about how he was forced into certain things by his family, a woman who didn't want to have children, or whose husband didn't want children. She had children because she was considering her biological clock. A man who went and had a child with someone else, who was cheating, who was depressed, a mother who felt like she should push her son to do the right thing because she wants him to be an example. And a woman, man, who is seeing things in such an interesting way. I will not say that she is right just because it suits this guy's agenda or a male agenda. But she seems to be finding meaning for herself. And most importantly, she is saying, I will not leave my husband. I love him. He has been good to me and he gives me what I need. The fact that he's found someone else does not mean he's taking anything away from me. It's interesting. These are the conversations we need to have. There are a lot of men out there that used to watch Umpiako Nusbaya and think, maybe I'm a polygamist. And you're not. Because like I said, you probably cannot take the weight of more than one family. Not just from a financial perspective, but just from are you able to fundamentally be ubaba, be umyeni, be daughter of two families and do it so seamlessly? I've said to people before that leadership is a disease. Once you decide to put your hand up and lead, you are asking for people to criticize you. You are asking for haters. You're asking to be put out there and for people to attack you. It's like wanting to become famous and a celebrity. You are asking people to scrutinize your life. You are asking for your personal life to no longer be personal. For your children to potentially be attacked. For your relationships or your marriage to be scrutinized. That comes with the territory. No, I didn't want this. You wanted it. If you don't want it, get out of the public eye. If you don't want to be attacked and judged, don't lead. If you want to have more than one partner, you are asking for pain. You are asking to be like, if she's depressed, I must be there. If her family is going through something, I must show up. If she's struggling financially, I must chip in. If the children are sick, I must be there. You must try and push. There's a video that I posted, a clip, Zizi Mills, I think her name is Zizi Mills, having a conversation with Akon of Convict Music. And at some point she asks him about Nick Cannon having so many children with multiple women. And Akon says he agrees 1,000%. And Akon speaks about his 9 children, and he speaks about this concept of having multiple women and what it means for men and how it's good for men and how men need to be active in their children's lives, but they don't need to be hands-on. For a man to become great, he needs to be out in the world, hustling, traveling, doing things, being able to provide for his family. And this thing that women have been taught of he must always be present is rubbish. That's not what a man must do. That's what a woman must do. This is what Akon is saying. But we need to have these conversations so that you can see for yourself. See Musamsele who's struggling with his wives. See another man out there whose 2 girlfriends are giving him stress and be like, yeah, Baba, that guy is seeing flames. Do I want that? Do I want to be judged like Jacob Zuma, like Cyril Ramaphosa? Do I want to be scrutinized and have my children dragged to Tuzania Zuma and Andile Ramaphosa? Do I have that in me? Because this looks like a lot. You're stressed with your 2 children. School fees, the one is sick, the one wants to have ice cream. Now you want to add another 3, 4, 5. Hi, Baba. People look at me with my 6 children. How do you do it? 4 mothers. How do you do it? And I tell them, not only do I enjoy having 6 children, I want more. I feel this is too easy. Is this a challenge? I need a bigger challenge. I'd like to have 10 children, 20 children. It must feel so natural to you to be attacked, to deal with the stress. My child is sick. My children need to be transported there. I need to pick up my kids here. This child needs to go to hospital. And the mothers are stressed. They're fighting with me. I'm going to court. But you must do it in such a way where people are looking like, how the hell does he do it? You do it because it is for you. It is a disease you have. By disease, look, I'm just using it as a word. It just means you are alternative. We need to have these conversations. There are so many men that need to be liberated. There are so many women who need to be liberated. There are so many people who need to see what this thing really is so they can say, oh, I can see now. This is actually not for me. I'd actually like to do something else. And then we need to look at the various ways that we can have various relationships with each other. Thank you so much, Siswam, for sharing this. I thought I'd share it with you. If you've got your own stories, share them with me via Instagram DM. If you have my email address, share them with me. I'm trying to cut down on my WhatsApp, but let's try and create these platforms. In 2023, I'm going to be traveling the country, trying to meet with as many of you as possible. And let's engage and let's find solutions that will help us build better family structures, better community structures, and a better world for all of us. Pen you are the Black Pen. Have a great and blessed day. Cheers.